Like, should I have it up here? Should I have it down below?
We're live.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out my cooler position. It's going to be a good show.
I'm thoroughly impressed on the fact that we got this kind of a show. We got good stuff to talk about. We've got
yes, sir.
Like a gangster guest.
The gangster is maybe the OGest of OG guests we've had on.
Definitely one
thus far. Definitely one of them.
If he's not OG, he's there's a slim group of those OGs. He's one of them.
For sure. Super pumped that well, hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. We have, as you probably know, and why you're tuning in, is because we got Adam Drake on the show tonight. And we're going to bring him in after we get through all of our intro stuff. And we're stoked to have him. He's actually hanging out in the background right now, waiting for us to get done with all that. So strap in for a good show, guys. This one's going to be sick.
I'm pretty excited about it, to be honest with you. And I think we got some pretty good hot topics to discuss. We've got some racing that's coming up to discuss. Yeah, this could be a good one. I am so tired. I'm so sore. I haven't done this much manual labor in quite some time. The worst part is to come. We got this whole rest of the week. So yeah, I need this. I need a good few beer, have fun type of night with an OG like Adam Drake.
Oh, for sure. He's so chill too. I'm lucky enough to be pitting next to him at the dirt. He's got a room right next to the racecraft room of the dirt. So see him pretty often. I can't believe he said yes to the show. I'm pretty stoked.
I wonder if he knows what he's getting into. Well, I guess he watched when we had Rhonda on. So
yeah, for sure. So
he knows we're mild.
He kind of knows what to expect, but who knows? We'll see where it goes. Got a couple new products to talk about, or one in particular that broke the internet yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Yesterday.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
Probably the gnarliest comment section I think I've ever seen on a new RC release. I think the hints are coming in, and you guys probably have an idea of what we're talking about. But we're definitely going to dive into this new release.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. All right. Well, how about you do your dope sponsor reads before we go into our intro and get everyone sharing and ready for a good time.
So tired. I'm so sore. Oops. I do that every time.
Interesting.
I was just pulling up the show right now. I just shared it myself. So,
yeah. Share.
Welcome to the Wheel and Trigger podcast. It is Tuesday, and it is brought to you by One Up Racing, ProMotion, Nitro Pro, Techno RC, J&T Bearing Co., Wolf Den, TZO Tires, Beach RC, RC Box Club, Racecraft, Get Shit Done Coffee, and RC Sign Up. Man, we're starting to gather a little list here, huh? It's almost
I mean, back when we started doing these live shows, we kind of were like, let's just do this and not worry about being structured and stuff. And who knew that people would actually like think that's a good idea and want to be part of it.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. Pretty dicey of a business decision for all of these brands, but hey, we're in it with you guys.
What's the worst they could do? Quit?
Yeah.
I think we're all right.
Adam Drake on the show. We got sponsors. This is wild, man. Wild.
You've made my life way more busy and made me had to work way more than I've wanted to work in the last mucho years.
I don't know what you're talking about, but how so? Enlighten me, Brent.
Well, having sponsors and everything.
Responsibility.
Everything behind the scenes, that these long talks we have to have all the time. And
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, sponsors. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you guys all watching and visiting those sponsors. Right now, let's share. And what do you say we get into our disclaimer and intro so we can get this show started?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right.
The following podcast is a group of people who will be talking shit, drinking, using cuss words and living their best lives. The opinions or views expressed do not necessarily reflect the views of their sponsors, supporters or anyone important outside of the four walls of the show. If you are not 18 or older, we suggest talking to your parents about this podcast before watching it and becoming scarred for life. We hope you will enjoy this and not get butthurt or become a keyboard warrior after taking it all in. Thank you for watching and supporting us on our journey.
What is up? We're live.
What?
If you
If you want the best titanium hardware for your RC car or truck, then look no further. I'm Randy from One Up Racing, and you need to check out Pro Duty Titanium Hardware. My screws are super strong and incredibly light, like we're talking nearly half the weight of your kit hardware. Perfect if you're looking to cut weight and boost performance. I've got some of the sleekest and strongest turnbuckles available, super lightweight lockdown wheel nuts, and a line of specialty hardware to take your build to the next level. All designed in-house and made to our specs by expert machinists who know how to make it right every time. You're gonna love it. Pick one up for every build.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, I just snot
Bro.
the biggest booger I think in my life. I don't know
You
where
okay?
it went. Yeah, I just don't know where it went. I don't. All right, I think
Yeah,
we're
you're good. No hangers.
Cool.
Right before we went live, you told me that you had underwear that was too hot and you went and changed them. So is that a thing in California in March? Your underwear, like are you wearing flannel underwear or what?
Dude, it's abnormally hot today. It was like 90 degrees and it's hot. I don't know if the air conditioner's on in the house. I got the fan full blast. You can see the bodies like
Yeah, I see the
floating around back there. I'm just hot right now. I don't know why I'm so hot. But yeah, I had to take off my undies. I got no shoes and socks on. Like, yeah, it's hot, dude.
Yeah, I might regret asking that question. So, so what else is up, my dude? Like, so you teased the new product launch.
Yes.
I think we got to go right into this because
Let's
this
go into
might be I like I told you a little while ago, I only read through the comments when I first saw it get dropped, like 30 to 60 comments at that time. I can't remember. And I read through them and they were getting absolutely brutally roasted by the gallery. And obviously at this point, if you pay attention to RC on the internet, then you have seen the release of the new team associated RC10 semi truck. I have nothing bad to say about it. Obviously we're not talking bad about the product, but the actual comments are just pretty brutal. Lots of
dude, it's absolutely insane how pissed the nerds got off on this.
yeah. like can you imagine?
And these guys are like seriously hurting inside with how pissed they are about a truck they're never gonna buy. Who cares?
Once again, the internet always surprises me. It's like, why comment on something that you have you got nothing involved, no interest,
nothing invested.
Nothing invested. That was the word I'm looking.
It's just an RC car, It gets so freaking bad, it's nuts. And now you got some intern at Associated that it was his idea. He's jumping out the fucking window of the building, like, like Jesus Christ, it's gonna be okay, everybody. It's just a semi truck,
Yeah,
it's bananas.
Will Crow just put up a comment and it made sense when maybe we all thought that because they're getting back into the touring car side of things and whatnot. Maybe we all thought it was going to be a Euro truck.
Like if it was going to be a badass Euro truck to compete with the Tamiya, whatever,
yes,
it would have been fucking way rad.
I think
that would have been cool.
That's the release people were looking for, right? Like they weren't looking for something called an RC10 that had 6-wheel drive. And I think it's just kind of one of those situations where I'm not saying they missed the mark by any means, because I don't have it yet. I don't know what people are going to use it for or whatever. Maybe towing their Traxxas boats on a Traxxas trailer, or maybe AE's coming out with a boat trailer and a boat. All I
Or
know
throw your
is,
old gold pan RC10
yeah,
with it. It's got a cool vintage look. I mean, that didn't they have a shot of the two cars together? You know, get a little trailer action going. Probably look cool on your shelf.
very cool on the shelf. But for the purist of the RC10s, there it is right there.
Yes,
Um,
that looks
but for the-
cool.
yeah, especially if it was like either on the back of the truck or there was a trailer towing that thing. That would look really cool. I don't know. I don't. I'm indifferent. I just think it's kind of wild, the comments that came out of people that were never going to buy one. It makes zero sense to even say anything, and internet always never disappoints.
Yeah, man. I mean, I might just have to get one just to put it on my shelf. I do that a lot with a lot of cars. You know, I think it looks cool. That's all that matters to me. It looks cool. I'm not hating on it.
It should have been a Euro truck with the American flair of like the Peterbilt or Kenworth versus the flat face Euro trucks, you know, like,
Or if they would have done the truck that Sylvester Stallone won and over the top at the end of the movie. Dude, hire me, Associated. I can help.
yeah. So if we'd love to know what you guys think about the truck, drop them in the comments. You probably have, most of you have probably already commented of the 500 comments that are underneath that truck. But that being said, I would love to know what the people who pay attention to what we're doing, what you guys think.
Yeah, but Associated, do whatever you guys want. If you guys are feeling like it, do it. If you think it's cool, do it.
Hell yeah. Dude, there's way wackier models out there than that truck. So
I just know a gold plan plane probably wouldn't be the best idea. Probably be
let's keep away from the
Probably a
air
little heavy.
stuff.
Yeah.
Keep away from the air. What else is new?
Nothing, man.
Let's talk about this other new release or possible new release.
Who knows? I mean, I definitely have none of that information, but yeah, man, the 1/8 short course truck conversion went very well. Was stoked on the build. I mean, I've seen people running them, Josh Keith and Troy Hansen out running them out in Arizona. Ryan Mayfield's ran one that got a lot of exposure for sure, throwing him behind the wheel of one out at Adobe. And I wanted to build one myself. So, you know, with the Techno car, it's very easy to do. And we got it out on the track. We got Wally out there, Fishback out there, my son out there, my chick out there. We just went in for a good day to just see how it was going to go. Wally didn't bring a car. Fishback didn't bring a car. I didn't bring a car. Nobody brought a car. We just focused on this short course truck and seeing how it would do on the track. The first thing we were, you know, a little worried about was how those belted Proline Mirage tires were going to work. And it worked really freaking well. We were all very surprised that the traction that it had out there at Rev. And man, it was great, dude. Shock package needed a little bit of work. It was a little stiff. I was expecting it to be a little heavier and need a little stiffer shock package, but we softened it up towards the end of the day after we got done just initially having fun with it, and then started trying to fine tune it in a little bit. And towards the end of the day, it was working pretty darn good. I think those tires, the sidewall is so high that they're kind of rolling in the turns. So it made the truck want to tip over a little easier than it should. So Proline also makes a 10 scale version of those tires that are the same diameter as an 8 scale buggy tire. So I'm thinking that is probably, Wally also brought it up, that's probably going to be like the hot ticket. And I actually have a set of those tires that I got for the 10 scale short course build that I'm doing right now. So I'm going to take those off of that and waste the brand newness of those on the short course truck, and I'm going to throw them on the 8 scale truck. I'm just waiting on another new body for my truck, because while we were filming all that stuff, Wally hit me full speed in the ankle with it.
Oh.
And it took me out, and I landed right on top of it and grenaded the body. So the body is roached, the cab is broken. But So I'm just waiting on a new body for it, and then I'm going to take it out again.
Nice. I was trying to get Robert the video so he could play it, show people the truck. But yeah, that thing, I watched the edit that you put up. It was rad, number one. But also just the fact that that truck looked like it handled pretty dang good.
It really did. It really
yeah,
freaking did. I'm not just saying it. It really jumped good. I mean, it had good forward. I mean, it was awesome. It was an e-buggy. It was an e-buggy with a bigger body on it, you know?
Yeah.
So
obviously
obviously that car's going to work good.
Ever since the Chico Nats, when the bruggy body got put into effect, here's a little, the video's getting played now, presented here. Here, drop out that.
Frankie, the wheel hexes on those are 17 mil. So they bolt right onto your 17 mil 8-scale stuff. It's really easy to do. But like I said, you can see how high that sidewall is. I think it was just rolling once it gained traction, and it made the truck want to be a little tippy. So I think when we try those 10 scale versions of the tires, you can also get those with the 17 mil adapter.
Mhm.
And I think it'll be set, dude. It'll be set. Cause I did trim
know
that
if the
body
10 scale
out.
tires, I don't know if the 10 scale tires will be too small for that.
Well, they're the same diameter as an 8-scale buggy tire. So it
Really?
won't be, yes, the same overall diameter as a 10 scale buggy. I mean, an 8-scale buggy tire. So they're not going to look abnormally small. And you'll also be able to run the body a little bit lower, and you'll also be able to run a little bit lower ride height. Yeah. Right after that, one of the outtakes, Wally went full blast into my ankle, and I just body slammed the truck. If you notice, like the last clips, you can see the front of the body like really bouncing around. It's because like the A and B pillar completely broke off of the body. So
Damn.
yeah,
that wall ride was sick though.
Yeah, it was cool, man. The truck
great
was sick, and it was fun because you know, he's like shredding around. Having the truck makes you want to shred it around like that and not run it like a 10 scale car. Just you know, hitting all the race lines. It definitely made you want to try and make it made it fun to drive, you know, just shredding around with it. So you can see like the whole cab is not even attached right there.
Nice.
But I think without that body slam, that body would hold up really well.
What body was that?
That is the Arrma Mojave 4S body.
Okay. Yeah, those are pretty tough. Yeah.
Plus,
so
they have a cage that goes for that body too that you can also purchase and make it even tougher.
Yeah. I you know, one man's opinion is another man's anger. I'll probably piss a lot of people off, but I've said this since the Chico Nats. It got discussed of the bruggy body versus the old truck body and so on and so forth, all this BS. And the one thing that I said is, in my opinion, if we're going to just do bruggy and buggy bodies, then what separates them? And most of us, and a lot of us talked about it, it's like an A-scale short course truck would separate, especially nitro, if we're going to talk about fuel nats or whatever. But an A-scale nitro short course truck would separate from a buggy. Like that is a totally different class. It's not more track time as far as like getting dialed in and understanding it. And I mean, we can ask Adam Drake these same questions, but if we're really going to do a separate class that's just not a bigger buggy, an 8-scale short course truck is the answer. And I am in love with the fact that you guys and Techno, and I bet this, if Techno comes out and it starts doing well, I mean, they're known for creating classes. We've seen it happen. If they come out and this thing's wildly successful and they do a conversion or a whole kit, other vehicles will fall in suit, and then possibly a nitro version comes out and maybe we can replace Truggy at big races or national races so that we separate buggy from Truggy. That's just my opinion. Everyone's entitled to their own. I'm an asshole, and you don't have to listen to that, but that's what I think needs to happen personally. So I like the movement.
Yeah, the movement's cool. It's fun. Worst case scenario, if you want to do one of these conversions, you'll just end up with a cool ass RC truck to rip around with at your campsite or wherever it's a badass truck. Like hands down, fun as shit to drive. And on the track, it's pretty darn good. So good old Joe.
Yet he's racing dirt late models. So
Hey,
I
yeah.
digress.
Yeah.
I digress.
Holds no water. Your tears hold no water. It's fun. RC is supposed to be
sure I'll
fun.
get
This brought a smile to everybody's face that was driving it and everybody at the track, and it was totally fun to do. Whether it should or should not replace Truggy is definitely on your side of the fence. I don't care.
Yeah.
They're fun to
Yeah,
have.
I mean,
And you can do it with any brand, like I said a bunch of times. I actually did something like this with HB. I built a U4 rock racing car out of an e-buggy with a Truggy chassis not too long ago, and then used the DB. Was it the DB, the Associated body when they had their rock racer? I just put that body right on top of the HB conversion I did. And yeah, it's fun figuring out parts and dremeling and making stuff fit and work. And, that's the side of the hobby that I like. I enjoy building them just as much as driving them. So, yeah, man, it's a cool ass truck that I'm going to have forever. And, whether it turns out to be a class or not, I'm still going to play with it,
Yeah, it's a rad truck. Well, we've talked about a couple things. I don't want to, what do you say we bring in our guest of honor, our guest of honor.
Oh, yeah,
special
for
guest.
sure. Yeah,
You
all
ready?
you Mugen Mafia boys, break out the lotion because Daddy is on the show.
All right, here we go. Like magic. Double
There he is.
magic.
What's happening?
What's up, Adam?
I've just been building my new Euro truck.
Are you building an 8x8 Mugen Euro
No,
truck?
I got the 6x6.
You did?
No, I'm just joking.
Okay. What are your thoughts on that? Do you just think it's a cool whatever RC truck? It's an RC car,
Yeah, I mean, they obviously had meetings and someone thought it was a cool idea. I think it looks cool, but when you're trying to use like the history or heritage of the RC10, that's where I think it's a little weird. Like if Traxxas comes out with a Euro truck, they're not going to call it a T-Max, but hey, to each his own. That's, again, people sat down in meetings and discussed it, and it looks cool. And if gets more people playing around and they have fun with it, then, so be it.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly.
I agree with that.
I mean, I do think it's crazy. Like I didn't really pay any attention to the comments until you guys kind of mentioned it. And then you look and it's like, people are like literally losing their mind. And it's like, Is it really that big of a, if it's not the product you want, don't get it. If you think it's cool, get it.
Yeah, for sure. That's what all
not,
releases. You're always taking that gamble with releasing anything.
Yeah.
You've been in this much longer than I have, Adam, but that's not a Riri, right? That's actually a new product.
I mean, I've never seen anything like, I've never seen an actual 6-wheel drive, Euro style truck. I mean, I'm sure it's probably some of the parts were shared from a 4-wheel drive that they had or something. I haven't really looked into it that much, but obviously I've never seen anything with 2 rear pumpkins or gearboxes. And
Traxxas has that gnarly semi hauler that's a 6x6.
And not only that, they have that Mercedes G-Wagon that's also a 6x6.
Oh,
yeah, but it's not. But again, they're not like basing it or trying to call it like a T-Max or a Bandit.
Yeah, it's not like a Slash, right?
Or,
it's not a Slash truck 6x6.
Yeah,
it's its own thing.
Yeah,
it's modern. It's modern vintage, guys. This is art.
Yeah. I have one of the RC10 GT re-release trucks that I'm going to build up and have for when we do the Gas Truck Nationals later this year. And so I think some of the vintage stuff is super cool. I have a bunch of my old cars from the TLR days and Losi days. So I think all that stuff's cool. It just, again, I think it caught some of the like hardcore guys who they're getting all the vintage stuff. Like, wait a minute, what's this? I think like you guys mentioned earlier, like if it was actually made to like kind of fit within the guidelines of the current Euro truck class, it would be maybe a little bit more accepted. But again, if it's not for you, don't get it. If it is, then get it. If you think it's cool, you know, play with it.
That's my feeling on it. It's like, why say anything unless, you know, I like to try to push positivity. It's like, why say anything if you're not going to say something nice, right? Same old adage we were taught when we were kids, but internet has no filter, and Associated is getting the brunt of the non-filter having interneters. And I agree. Like, for me, when I saw the first post, I thought, okay, AE's dropping in on the Euro Truck game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like almost a lock. I would have lost the farm on that bet for sure. But like you said, if it's not for you, just don't buy it. It is what it is. It's some people are really into like realistic stuff, and God, the amount of Traxxas trucks and trailers we sell for people to tow around their boats or extra cars or whatever on the back. It's insane, but that's their thing. That's what they want to do. And they should very much be able to do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're still going to sell a shitload of them.
Oh, for sure. For sure they're going to. And again, I think it's just more of the people that are, negative with the comments. It's because they're more like the core racer group that are like, whoa, wait a minute, but the hobbyist, they're still going to buy it. It's going to be cool. So
yeah, for sure.
I mean, even if it stays unboxed, me. Vintage is cool.
Yeah, even if it stays unboxed, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Like it's a limited edition, whatever, and it very well could be a limited edition depending on how it sells.
Yeah.
It might be a one and done. So it might be a good idea to grab one. The one, it's like a penny that's been pressed wrong.
Yeah.
Penny that's worth $100.
Yeah,
for sure. So, Adam, everybody knows all your accolades, your presence on the internet with your video tutorials on how to teach people how to run their RCs properly and everything. Tell us about this new track and the work that's gone into it, and the trials and tribulations, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, the lefts and rights. How's it been since you decided to take on this new project?
It's been good. We've had a lot of help, a lot of support. There's still tons of work to do. I think for most people, they thought it was kind of like a transfer of ownership, and you put in a new layout and open the doors and you're ready to be back open. And that wasn't the case. The track was officially closed. It was shut down. It wasn't going to reopen as an RC track. Rhonda and I first kind of reached out, and they flat out told us, they said, look, we're not going to sugarcoat this. We're not going to give you any false hope. This chapter's been closed. We don't want you to think that it's, just going to go to the next person who's interested. But we will go have lunch with you and just at least hear what you have to say. So that's kind of where it all started. Obviously, I'm sure a lot of you have seen, the amount of people that came out for the meetings, the amount of people that were online. And I think that's truly what kind of changed the Park District's kind of thoughts on the RC community in general.
Right.
We had a ton of meetings aside from those monthly meetings. And, but I think the big thing was just the outreach from the actual RC community. They had told us that for all the stuff they deal with, soccer, baseball, pickleball, horseshoes, everything that they have going on in all the different parks, they've never seen that much outreach for something. So I think that was super cool and special. Even at the meetings, kind of after them, we kind of got the RC guys together and kind of had our own little meeting. This was, kind of throughout the process. And it's been really cool because I think what's going to be different this time is like, the track was gone. It was taken away from us, and now we've gotten it back. If it just transferred ownership, we would have all kind of just said, hey, cool, it's a new sign or whatever, but it's the same track that's been here forever. So I feel like it's kind of like if we're a kid and we got in trouble and, our iPhone was taken away for a week, we have more appreciation,
Yes.
as we get closer to opening back up. And again, the support, the outreach from locals, from people from super far away, has been awesome. It's, the first, like our lease started March 1st, obviously right before DNC. We had tons of rain. Then we were at DNC, tons of rain after DNC. So we pretty much have only really had, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks that we've been able to kind of, start digging and get in the dirt and start making things happen. And there's been a lot of things, a lot of kind of unexpected stuff. We've hit water mains and had to replace those and taken out airlines, and we're trying to do things right. We're trying to do things, the way Rob and Levi did it in the early days, to where the air compressor is not right in the middle of the pit area where we can't hear one another. When we're trying to talk to one another, the air compressor's off on the side, but that means airlines are having to be run underground and cross sidewalks. And so it's been a big process. But again, a lot of help, a lot of support. Rob and Levi, Steve Burgess has helped with sound system. Too many people to remember. Let's Fishback with
the floor on the driver's stand.
Yeah, basically rebuilt the driver's stand. At first it was just, oh man, if we just change the flooring, it'll be good. But then you get the flooring ripped up and you're like, man, all these 2x6s are all rotted, and
like, this is kind of sketchy for everybody to be up there.
Yeah. The Nelsons with Chris Nelson from TNR got us like an industrial sink that he had, and then Dylan and Chris Nelson welded like legs and a frame and everything for that. Local guy Joe has helped with equipment and just busting his ass. Again, I hate to even name names because you always end up forgetting a group of people.
Right. Well, I mean, I know one that I can think of is Alessi. Is always willing to give a helping hand. So new pit tables, it looks like, are repainted or right.
So the pit tables are actually in decent shape. Some of them do need to be rebuilt and replaced, but all the like warm-up tables, the tables for like blowing your car off, new sink, scoring system, air conditioner for the scoring tower had to basically be fully cleaned and rebuilt. So German cleaned that all up for us. Again, it's having to like kind of put in some more natural drainage and dig stuff out. It's been a lot of days on the tractor with doing nothing to the actual track.
Right.
If you need some pit tables, if you just drive out here and grab them, I've got plenty that I can send with you.
Yeah, we could probably throw them in Rhonda's Civic.
Yeah. If there's one suggestion that I can make as a driver at Thunder Rally, if there's anything you could do about the chain link fence in the back, it's probably taken 6 to 10 of my arms off of the car. Maybe some kind of a bumper, little something.
Yeah, so a couple things with that. For one, we there'll be layouts that you're going high speed along the back fence, but it seemed like in the past it was almost every layout you were going full throttle, either jumping up or jumping off the back drop off. Like the current layout that we have coming in, it's you come up the back hill, but you're actually jumping away from the fence. So from a design standpoint, layout wise, things will be changed a bit. And then also we'll get kind of like what they use at the baseball field. Like it's almost like a pool noodle, but it's like huge. We plan to put those along the fence. And then also the pipe for the track has always gone basically up against the fence, which creates a bunch of problems. So you can jump into the fence easy, but there's also no outlet for a turn marshal to kind of escape. So
right, you're always stuck on like a little foot thing, and your turn marshals are definitely in danger.
And the track had the hay bales from DNC, which was 4 or 5 years ago. All those have been pulled off the fence, and there'll be like a 1.5 or 2 foot basically walkway for the marshal to be able to run up and down, which means you have an extra foot to 2 feet away from the pole. So we're for sure gonna screw stuff up. We're not gonna do stuff perfect, but we have thought about a lot of that stuff. I mean, we've all if you've run at Thunder Alley enough, you've replaced a couple front arms from one of those poles. So
yeah,
it's a very common occurrence. So
bitching. I was more joking about my shitty driving than anything.
No,
All
I
the
mean,
layouts have been fine.
Well, I hadn't been able to speak about it yet, but I was gonna say just don't fucking hit the fence, Chase.
Right.
yeah, maybe your trim's off.
Yeah, probably is. Probably is. So is the TNR quarter pipe still there?
No, gone. So
Okay.
that's gone, and then all that dirt that was built up in that corner has all been cleared out, trenched, graveled to have more of like a natural drain. Lee General donated a bitchin' pump that we have an area in that gravel to where if it is like super flooded, the pump can drop in to be able to drain the track
Sick.
a lot quicker. I mean, you're still gonna have times where whatever you're rained out, but for us, it's like let's try to do as much of the work now so that it makes life easier later. And it's the track's not going to be all perfect whenever we end up opening. It's still going to be a work in progress, but the main kind of concerns we're trying to address now for like drainage, for safety. We have Brian Wright's coming out tomorrow. He's going to weld a bunch of stuff for us. We're reinforcing the base of the driver's stand, kind of doing some little fixes to the handicap access, installed like all new locks, putting in new TVs, TV monitors, again, sound system.
Got some TVs I can send with those tables. You just got to come
Yeah.
get them.
Yeah.
Well, nice. It's very exciting. Everybody's stoked that Thunder's coming back. Historic Thunder Alley, and for you guys to be back in it, it's freaking awesome. And it's right around the corner from you guys. So you'll be there. I know you guys tried it with Palm Desert, and I don't know what happened with that, but it seems like Thunder Alley is going to be a little bit more convenient for you guys to be there and run the program proper and make it an awesome place to race again.
Yeah. I mean, just to touch on Palm Desert, that also was not something that we were kind of planning to do. Jeff and Chris Jeff was having some health problems. Chris had moved to Arizona, and they basically were like, here, it's yours. Basically, it was too good of an offer to pass up. And our main thing was we wanted to make sure that the Toys for Tots race didn't kind of go by the wayside. So
right.
We took the track on. We enjoyed doing it, but like you said, it was a challenge because, it was 45 minutes to an hour each way. So if someone left a light on or a hose or something, it's a 2-hour round trip. There's also not a huge local following. There's a decent local following, but not, it's a ways out there. Rhonda's dad got really sick, and she just basically was like, look, I'm spending so much time at the track. This is time I could be spending with my dad. And Chris Nelson from TNR had always kind of told us, like, if you guys are ever, wanting to get rid of this, hit me up. And so we had talked with him, and then we talked with the city. We're able to transfer the lease over to him. And he's made some amazing improvements and more lights and better sound system, and has a lot of other stuff in the works. So it worked out great, I think, for not just Chris and Rhonda and I, but also for the community. It kept another, track going basically by handing it off to Chris. And we plan to do a lot of kind of collaboration stuff with Chris, with what was Thunder Alley and Palm Desert, and do some fun stuff and really try to get back to, I guess, trying to put on the races that like Rhonda and I want or enjoy. And it's not that there's anything wrong with the races of today. It's just these 900 to 1200 entries you run once every 5 hours. Like, it's more of a hangout than an actual like race. Like, it's a bitchin' event. I couldn't imagine trying to coordinate and do everything to put that on. But we're more, core racers. Like, we want to have more track time and, really kind of focus on the club racing and, local series stuff. And doing more clinics. I travel to so many of these races and do clinics, but I very rarely ever do any at home. And now with having the track and it being so close, we'll be able to, focus on and do more of that clinic stuff and workshops and maybe, like
with the schools
engine.
and things like that,
Yeah,
bringing
and
kids into RC and everything like that. Yeah,
yeah,
great.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
I went to Thunder twice. I went there for the RCGP, the end of the 2019 series, and then the following year I went to DNC, which was the last DNC there.
And that's where we met.
That's where we met. Exactly. That was
Yeah.
when the first party, but the Racecraft Rager. That place was awesome. I'm so glad that you guys are keeping it going. The landscape, the area, the park, just everything about that place is awesome. I give you guys mad props. I've been through a very similar situation with the Badlands here. Unfortunately, we lost the battle that you ended up winning that war. But staple tracks like that are very important to keep around. The fact that Chris took Palm Desert, that's great.
Yeah.
We always talk about it around here. There's so many tracks like Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. There's lots of tracks. In the grand scheme of things, you're splitting the crowd, so not one track is ever getting a decent entry count. But if you stick with it and every track's getting 40, 50 entries or more every week, it'll pay the bills and put money in the pocket, but the fact that you guys, went through all that hassle, going through the town halls, doing the paper, doing the crossing the T's, dotting the I's to make sure that the place could keep going. Good for you. And I personally hope that it just works out and you guys have one big ass race a year at least. I would love to come back out to Thunder Alley and enjoy. I actually have never raced there. I went there to be part of 2 events that I haven't raced yet. So I want to come back out there and race for sure.
Yeah. I mean, eventually, we'll definitely try to have, our, I don't know, 1 or 2 kind of signature races a year, I guess you would call it. But again, main focus is right now just trying to get going, kind of build the local community back up. I have Jimmy and Notch hounding me for JBRL and Top Notch dates, and we plan to still do that kind of stuff. But it's just we have a lot more restrictions now with the park, just because it ended on such bad terms, where we kind of have some blackout dates and things we have to work around, and we're hoping to kind of be open in April, but it's like everyone else already has their schedules and dates set, so where do you really fit in? It's going to make it a little bit difficult. So we'll get there. We'll have some of those signature races of our own, but right now we're not really thinking or worrying too much about that. It's more of, let's get going and kind of build the local following and community back up.
And the club racing, that's where everybody starts with RC, and that's where everybody fell in love with it, where you go and you run 2 qualifiers and a main and you're done, and it's a kind of a quick deal. That's why, I like doing the Friday Night Lights, the dirt, because you show up at 6 and you're done at 9 and you get to race and then it's over, The long races, I definitely pick and choose those. Like I didn't do DNC this year because I know it just burns me out on RC. I'd rather go there and kind of hang out a little bit and not go through all that, the racing and everything like that. So club racing is where it's at, man. That's where all the smiles are, and you get to drive a lot.
And I mean, all those big I mean, they're bucket list races. Like we should all do them, but like you said, by the time you're halfway through the event, you're like, I just want to go home.
Yeah,
it's just sometimes it can be a bit too much. So
even the ones you put on, you're going to be like, I'm ready to go home. Even if you even if you're making money, you still are done halfway through for sure.
Yeah,
but they're great. I definitely liked AMS because of the capped thing, and we drove so much at AMS because of that capped entry. Like I was burned out from driving too much rather than not driving and just hanging out, because I get in trouble when I can't RC when I'm waiting 5 hours. I might as well just count it out, because you give me 5 free hours at a race, I'm not gonna be able to drive in between when I'm up against, But
so what he's really saying is
the free time, definitely.
Chase can't manage his free time properly.
Oh, I remember him at the DNC at Thunder Alley.
Yeah.
Hey, we threw one hell of a party, man. I think I made it in the that was my first DNC, and I did pretty good. I was in the H main intermediate buggy for sure.
So speaking of H mains, Chase, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Speaking of H mains, how many Roar National Championships have you won?
5. 3 in Nitro Buggy, but 5 total.
5 total. And are you a world champion?
No.
Okay.
World's finalist in both 8-scale Nitro and 2-wheel drive modified, but never won a world championship.
I dug trying to find that information, and it's tougher to find information on RC winners than it is like people who row boats for a living in college. Like it's very tough. So I wanted to make sure I knew exactly, at what level you'd won at. I mean, you've won every big race probably in the country at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I've won Neo Buggy a few times. In the different classes, DNC, Silver State. I've won my fair share, but yeah, never a world championship. Been in the world's finals, but never won one.
Sick. You definitely have changed the game in fuel mileage racing. So you were, everyone for the longest time was chasing Adam Drake in a qualifier or, on, doing fewer pit stops in national finals or any of the big 45-minute plus finals. What is the recipe? Like, is it light on the throttle, super, super lean? What do we got to do? What is the regular racer need to do to get to 10-minute pit stops?
I mean, it's all of the above. Like everyone thinks it's just, one thing, and that's not the case. It's small gains in a lot of areas. So obviously if you have your engine, tuned to the limit, you kind of have to drive a little bit smoother. So those two things both help. Clutch setup, how you have your car set up. If you have your car set up to where it's just super, super locked in, you're going to be able to just drive harder. You're going to use more fuel. So it's probably like 5 or 6 things that are all gaining 20 seconds, 30 seconds, 15 seconds. But the biggest thing is being able to tune the engine to the limit and then driving that efficiently. Again, if the carburetor's open more, it's using more fuel. So if you can get the delivery of the power to where you're not having to drive as deep in the throttle, you're going to use less fuel. It's maybe not as fun to drive because you're just using less of the trigger. I would say back in the day, like with the TLR Nova stuff, like a lot of that was like drivetrain, and the engines were also pretty efficient. But like nowadays, like a lot of the tracks, even on some of the tracks, like they get rough, but I would say the tracks are now more high speed. And you drive a bit different now. Like now you have to almost drive like it's an electric qualifier for the entire 45 minutes to be competitive. You can't just kind of cruise around and, save gas because you're going to be so much slower that it doesn't matter that you're going one less pit stop. You're slow. So
right.
Now I would say it comes down more to just tuning the engine to the actual limit, or maybe even slightly past the limit, and then driving smoother and more efficient. If you're someone who's just super hard on the throttle and you were to like pick up my car and radio when it's kind of tuned to the limit, it would probably lean bog and not be very fun to drive because you're kind of blowing through the sweet spot of the power band.
Gotcha.
So are you saying like when you're not using your throttle, your trigger as much, would you say your carb, is it linear with your trigger still? or is it all the way open at half throttle?
Yeah, so like I always open the carburetor to the Venturi size. A lot of guys I think I like turn the EPA way down. When I do that, I feel like it just has like a really strange power band. So I want it to be very linear and smooth to where everything is 1-to-1. That the carburetor isn't tuned to where if I pull it, it's going faster than what I'm pulling it. It's
Yeah,
1-to-1.
that was kind of what I was getting to with the question.
Yeah.
So,
but a lot of guys, they just flat out they tune the engine with the bottom end extremely too rich, and they rely on the top end to where they actually don't have much of a power band. It's not 1-to-1. It allows you to just kind of bury deep into the throttle early on. But it hauls ass down the straightaway. So to make it more efficient and have better fuel mileage, it's more the bottom and mid needing to be lean than the top.
gotcha.
Nice.
Very cool, man.
Good info.
Man, that hour flew by, huh?
Has it been an
Holy
hour?
moly, it's been an hour already.
I guess that means you got to pee.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Wow.
But it's
Have
almost.
you cooled off yet?
Yeah. As you're,
My hands are sweating. I'm talking to Adam Drake, man. I see
how are
all
the twigs and berries?
I still
bro?
get starstruck. I still get nervous.
We're neighbors.
I know. I know. But I just think 4 years ago, I dug one of your tires out of a trash can with my son and had you sign it, dude. Like, I'm a fan.
Speaking of that, check this out. Well, you won't be able to see it because of the lighting. Look at that, Adam.
You got one.
Nice.
Sweet.
This is 2013 Fall Brawl. And let me tell you why this is special, because at this point, no one even knew about me. No one knew about Beach RC, nothing. Like, I was just a fan at that point. And one of these free tires that you're about to throw in the trash became a memento for somebody that looked up to you. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that. That's always good. And awesome. I've been keeping them in here. I haven't set up my new studio yet, with the move that we've got going on, but hopefully in the next episode or two, I'll have it all done.
How's all that going for you, the move and everything?
Oh, today was tough, dude. Today was like one of the heavier lifting days, and we were a little shorthanded today, but the rest of the week it's like all hands on deck. But it's going, man. We got the driver stand down, half of the block wall is down, about a third of the dirt has been relocated. So basically from tomorrow till Monday is just not a dull moment, and it's not fun. We've definitely viewed this as a beginning, a new beginning. It's a bummer not having the track, but with the website growing like it has been and things going the way that they're going, we really need to focus on different things. And so I see this as a very positive move for us. So I'm excited about the future. But the work right now, the what we're doing and the stuff that it's just dreadful, man. No. We're not a huge company and can just pay people to move our stuff. It's my staff, it's favors from friends and stuff like that. So it's taxing, and we're doing what we can. But the big shame is what I'm really bummed about, because I'm very proud of like the surface we created with our dirt, is that our dirt's just going somewhere just to be fill dirt. It's not going to a track. I've offered it to every track around, but no one wanted to pay.
You need to put it in a jar and sell it.
Well, so we gave the jars at the last race. We gave jars of dirt as the trophies, and we actually do have about 100 more jars of dirt that'll probably be going into customers' boxes that we ship out that have been very supportive over the last 10 years. But yeah, it's been awesome, man. We've had an outpouring of people that love the place, and I hate it more for them than myself because of the work that we always had to do. It's nice to like not have to worry about it anymore. But in the same token, it's very gratifying seeing the smiles on people's faces, which you're, going to get accustomed to real quickly. So free dirt. There's still some free dirt. Anybody that wants to come and get
dirt.
it.
We need dirt also, but I don't think that's going to fit in round of
So
7.
when you come and get those tables and the TVs, you can take some dirt with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going. It's going for sure.
Well, sweet, man. We're turning the corner on almost an hour now.
That's the second time he's brought that up, Adam. You recognize that? The first time I asked him if he needed to go potty. The second
I'm just saying that we're really close to opening up the phone lines for everybody to call in and ask Adam Drake a question.
Is Carl going to be the number 1 caller?
Oh,
we'll
shit.
see. I don't know if Carl's on here or not.
Or what about Eric Lunville?
He's on here.
He is definitely on.
He might call in. Who knows?
Eric has posted at least 24 posts already, so he's on here. But before we go on, I have a question for you.
Okay, I'm gonna have a question after you.
No, you go first.
Okay, Adam.
Mine might take longer.
Okay, my question is: out of all the things you've been teaching everybody and the hundreds of YouTube videos you have, how do you keep thinking of things to teach people?
I get a lot of emails.
Okay.
So basically all the videos come from someone emailing me or Facebook or Instagram message. And I'm like, let's make a video on. Nice. So originally, that's kind of how it started, was like, it was more popular topics that I would get emailed or messaged on a regular basis. And I'm like, I keep having to type out this same answer. Why don't I just do a video? And then when someone asks that question, I can just send them a link.
Perfect.
And not have to type it out. So, I mean, it's been, I don't know how long. It's probably been like 9 years. There came a point like early when I went to work for Mugen. So I've been at Mugen for a little over 10 years. And pretty early on, we're like, hey, let's do these videos. So once I started them, I've not missed a Tuesday in whatever it's been, not almost 10 years. So for sure, there's been some videos I've kind of, I guess, recreated or remade or needed to update and stuff like that. But the amount of questions that I get, I mean, there's times I'll be out of town at a race and Rhonda's off racing herself and she's like, hey, such and such. And I'm like, I'll send her a link. And she was like, no, that shit's not flying with me. Like, yeah. You can explain to me, what I need to do or whatever. But yeah, so that's kind of how the videos originally started.
Nice. Well, I'm sure you've helped tens of thousands of people.
Well, you got to figure if one person has the question, more people have the same question. Oh, yeah. So that's like a great way.
The video you posted, I think it was last week, like, when is it time to change your shock and diff oil? I was like, shit, it has been a while. Well, I should probably watch this video.
I mean, some of the videos are so basic that it's like, especially early on, like guys would like, talk shit or criticize me for doing it. And it's like, you got to remember, you got to just remember, like, something that you and I know, or that's super basic, like ride height. To a guy who just bought a Slash, ride height of what? Like,
yeah.
So it's like the videos are more racer oriented because I'm a racer, but there are people that like ask questions that they seem so silly to have to do a video. Like, some guys will be like, oh, are you going to do a video on how to put body clips on? And it's like, look, dude, I understand the majority of us know how to set ride height or know some of this basic stuff, but there's also a percentage of people that don't. So I'm not doing the videos thinking like I'm going to change the world by showing someone how to, set the ride height. I'm doing it based off questions that have been asked to me. And again, just like certain RC cars, maybe my videos aren't for all people, so,
sure.
or maybe certain ones aren't. So,
whoa, what a reference right there.
Keep doing what you're doing, man. They're,
oh, trust me, I sleep well at night. I'm not worried about I'm not worried about what people have to say, but it's, you still hear some of this stuff, but I'm not going to like change or redirect, like, I'm going to do me regardless. So,
bro, all that influencer money you got coming in, I'd be doing the same thing you're doing.
yeah. I mean, it's our RC influencer, like geared towards racers. It's crazy. I should retire now.
Yeah, your reach is abominable, dude. It's freaking, it's gone.
Well, I'm sure there's a shit ton of people that have appreciated all those videos where they seem simple or not to anybody. It doesn't matter. I mean, if it helped one guy, it's worth doing it.
Yeah,
I feel like plan. I think the simpler questions are the ones that are the best videos because it does explain things to people that are really new. The more the top end questions on how to tune and how to do certain things that pros do that most people might overlook or whatever. That's great. That's for a certain person, but I think you'll always do better with the simpler stuff just because those are the people that are on YouTube looking. And, I appreciate what you do. I mean, I know what the time and the commitment it takes to do any of this stuff. So, for you to be able to do that and travel and, have a family life and go to work and all of it, man, it's a lot.
Yeah, man. And as a racer for years, you can develop bad habits, and learning a new way to do something just because you've been doing it this way because Timmy O'Toole told you how to bleed your shocks. You might have been doing it wrong, and Adam Drake has a different way to do it, and that might help you better for sure.
Yeah, Timmy probably doesn't know shit. All right, so here's a question for you that I'm personally interested in your thoughts and your knowledge. It's no secret that Roar has now combined electric and fuel nats for this year at Thornhill. Yeah. I want to know your thoughts on what has come of the combining and the schedule and how you perceive that it's supposed to go. For people that don't know, Nats is the Nats at Chico electric Nats, I think was supposed to be this week, have been postponed or canceled basically for this year and added to the Nitro Nats at Thornhill, adding, what was it, 2 days, basically 2 days or 1 day to the overall program. What's your thoughts on all that?
So I was actually pretty involved, like on, I guess as like a, I don't know, advisor, or they kind of bounced some ideas off me. Lance actually reached out to me at first, before he stepped away, which I thought was cool. It showed that, they wanted to kind of make sure that they reached out to a number of people in the industry just to see if it like passed the snicker test of like, hey, is this going to work? They didn't just make the change and then have us all in an uproar. And I think it was good because I know a lot of people were involved. A lot of different representatives from different manufacturers chimed in, but I feel like what they originally proposed would have been not as good or kind of almost a failure, because one of the key points that I like really, really pushed with them is that I think this is good. We can have 400 or 450 entries at a race, no problem. We see it all the time at different races around the country. But my big point was that the electric Nats has not been sustainable by itself over the years. Like the last couple good ENATs from like a entry standpoint were when they were at LCRC. It's like, I could be wrong on this, but it's some of the only times that the ENATs actually sold out. Normally the ENATs has 80 to 100 entries, and that's horrible for the track. It's horrible for the manufacturers. It's just not
the racers too. Yeah.
Exactly.
Just the whole event.
Yeah. So my thing though was like, look, when you're going to combine it, you're now going to struggle because the entries are going to fill up instantly. The entries already fill up super fast for the fuel mats as it is. But my thing for this year was that, look, this year is going to be the first year that you're attempting to do this. It's a world's qualifying year for Nitro Buggy. for the 2026 World Championship that's going to be in America. So it's going to be like the most anticipated world's qualifying year because we only get it every 8 years. So I said, look, you can't take away from the nitro buggy class. Like the nitro buggy class is the premier class. It's the main focus of this entire event. You can't take away qualifiers or main links or anything like that. We have to keep the long qualifiers, the ladder system, and the other classes. Like I actually felt like on the e-buggy class, like they should have just basically averaged what, say, the last 5 years the ENAT's brought in. Maybe it's 100 entries. They should have only added 100 entries to the fuel nats limit so that it doesn't add so many days that the only guys that can attend are guys who are, either doing this for a living or trying to do it for a living. Because I think the event was already pushing too long of a schedule as it is. And the nice thing is that with the Roar Nats is normally the days are fairly reasonable in length. So I'm like, if we just add a couple hours to each day, let's try to do it to where we don't add additional days. Because originally they wanted to have it, I think it was Monday to Saturday.
Yeah, and travel Sunday.
And my thing was like, there's already events scheduled for this year. There's already people that may be traveling that weekend where Sunday would be our travel day to get there. We may already be at an event.
Right.
So I said, I think you need to try to keep it as close to the same schedule. The Tuesday through Sunday. Maybe that can change for future years. But the big thing is don't change the nitro buggy class. The qualifiers, the mains, that is the premier class. Like that's the one time a year the Roar block gets to run 10-minute qualifiers, ladder system, hour final. So they did. They made some tweaks, and then originally it was going to kind of alternate days. It was going to be combining some classes similar to like how DNC and Silver State, and then they tweaked it some more. And then so now I think the program that they have is kind of cool. If you want to just run nitro buggy, you can show up later in the week. If you want to run the other 3 classes, you can show up early in the week and go home. If you want to run them all, you're there the same length time that you would have been if it was just a fuel nats. So yeah, I think it's good. It's much, much better for the tracks. Normally if you host a Roar National, you're, don't want to say going to lose your ass, but like you're not going to be rewarded financially the way that you should for hosting the most prestigious race in that category for the year. Now with the fees going up a little bit and also more entries, the tracks can now make more money. And that's something that is super important. We're losing too many tracks. Too many tracks are just in a bad state, just deteriorated. Things are not maintained the way that they should because a lot of these series events, either the series takes a bunch of the money, or if it's like a Roar event, because Roar has the RMT team and everything, they have a lot of expenses. So it's not, I'm not saying this to like bag on the series promoters or Roar.
Sure.
But the way that it's structured, the tracks are what's most important. If we don't have tracks, we don't have Roar Nationals. If we don't have tracks, we don't have series races. Like, so the tracks need to get their fair share or their cut. Because I know in the past, like if you hosted a Roar National, you got just a small percentage of each entry until it hit a certain tier. So if you had a national that sold out, you could do okay.
Right.
But if your national didn't sell out, you might as well just have a club race that weekend and not have all the extra staff and employees and all the headache to go along with it. And you would probably equal out to about the same financially.
Yeah. So it just as a general follow-up to that question, and obviously I'm I sit on the committee, so I'm just interested in knowing, like, what's your thoughts or of the current state of Roar? How do you feel? Because I know how influential you are. I know that you're involved in everything when it comes to, like, I mean, your sponsors, the people you work for, the racers that you are, in touch with on a daily basis. You're in touch with everything RC. Like, what do you feel is the current state of Roar after, with the stuff that's been going on? I would love to know personally.
Yeah.
I'm not speaking on behalf of the committee by any means. I just want to know what you think.
I mean, I think it's in the best position it's been in a lot of years. I was at one time, like on the off-road fuel committee. At one time, I was like head of the off-road fuel committee. This was many, many years ago. And it was so frustrating because it's like the committee would get together, do all this stuff, and then I think it was called like the XCOM. They would still just vote and do whatever they wanted. And that's kind of when I got out of it, because I was like, why is this whole committee discussing matters and voting on it to then just have you guys make whatever decisions you want? So I just said, I think this is a waste of time. Was no longer on the committee. There was a number of years where we would have meetings at the Nationals. Everything would sound super good, and then nothing would happen. And now I feel like stuff is happening. Is it perfect? No, but you get what you pay for, and Roar's not bringing in enough money to where there's a whole staff that's getting paid to do this. It's primarily volunteers. And I think, again, they're for sure headed in the right direction. They're taking the right steps. I feel like they care more now than they kind of ever have before. But again, that's not to say that stuff's not perfect, but I'm not perfect either. I screw shit up all the time, but at least the intent is good. They're trying to do stuff that is better for racing. So I enjoy that and support it.
I think that when you're trying to fix a lot of things that are broken, it just takes time. A lot of people,
Correct.
Don't see that side of things. They want to. It goes back to that RC10 6x6 post. There's so many people that want to jump on something when Roar makes a post, but we're trying to, I speak for myself and I would assume a little bit of the community. Like, we're trying to be transparent and we're trying to make shit happen. It doesn't happen overnight, and like you said, a lot of things have changed over the last year, and I personally think it's for the better. Of course, everyone's going to miss the mark at some point. You can't bat 1,000.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Adam said, the key word, as long as the intent is there, that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
The intent is to make things better, then that's all we need.
Yeah.
Just keep trying.
And for sure, I have a good feeling and sense of that. Like, from so many of the people involved. I'm super bummed that Lance isn't involved anymore. I think with the amount of events he attends and all the media stuff he does, he was a good person to have involved. But I also understand, shit happens. And, there's still a really solid group of people there. And, there's going to be times, Clayton and I have had a number of conversations where I'm sure he's like, man, why did I call and ask him this? But I'm just being open and transparent. Like, I truly want what's best for the whole community of racers. I think their intent is to do that. And sometimes maybe stuff slips through the cracks, but they're definitely trying and moving in the right direction, in my opinion.
Cool. I dig it.
Sweet.
It is time to open up those lines, but I think we need to do that obligatory piss break.
Okay. You know what?
Okay?
Yeah, dude. This is like the first show ever where I haven't had to use the restroom. It's crazy.
You're not drinking enough.
Yeah. Are you okay?
You're probably dehydrated from the 90-degree weather today.
I know, it's so hot, dude.
I actually have to piss, so you can keep going, and I can disappear from the screen while you guys talk. I can open up the lines and.
No, let's go ahead and play one of our sponsors' commercial, and we'll try and make something happen.
I can make that happen. Here we go.
Techno RC. Techno RC is a championship-winning manufacturer of high-performance A-scale, 10-scale, nitro, and electric RC buggies and trucks. With a worldwide dealer network, USA and Europe-based headquarters, comprehensive warranty program, and global race support, Techno RC is excellence in RC. View the full lineup of Techno RC race-proven vehicles by visiting www.technorc.com.
BeachRC.com, the racer's one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, S-Works, Pro Circuit Racing tires, Nitro Lux fuels, and Assault RC performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
Oh, wow, that was perfect timing. And Robert, thank you for noticing that we were all still draining the main veins.
Yeah, good job on that second commercial, man. I was running back and I was like, oh, cool, BHRC.
Yeah, he saved us. All right, so
the One Up Racing hotline is open, and now's your chance to call in and talk with Adam Drake.
No questions are off the board. Doesn't mean he's going to answer them, but we hope that you'll ask good questions, not boring shit like what's it like being married to Rhonda Drake or something like that. Like, we've already had Rhonda. We already know her story. I don't know. That's what people are going to ask.
I got a question, Adam, and maybe you could do this for me one day, but I know you're the pit guy for Rhonda, and have you ever, when it's time for her to put the hammer down and you're trying to get her to go a little faster, do you ever say, time to Drake and bake?
No, maybe I will. Maybe I will. The problem is she always has her headset on, but it's not like a two-way. She's listening to music. So
okay, I thought that would be cool. Maybe just yell it up. Time to drink and bake.
Yeah. We'll have to work on that.
Okay. Oh man, I was thinking about that.
I thought something else. I thought something else was going to be said.
We have though. So there was we were at a race in Flowood, Mississippi. And it was in the Nitro Buggy main, and someone cleaned her out. And she doesn't ever say anything on the stand. She just, again, she's rocking out to her music. She's just, and I kind of see it out of the corner of my eye. And she was just she said something, I don't know, oh my gosh, or, can't believe it, or idiot or something. And so I kind of looked to see who it was. And then I waited a couple minutes later, and I just cleaned them off, blew them off the track. So I guess we have kind of done that, but
because first you drink it and then you bake it,
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it. So are we still going to see you over there at the dirt now that you're doing the Thunder Alley thing?
Yeah. I mean, I'm still going to do all the stuff, all the Southern California stuff, JBRL, Top Notch, Yeah, I'm a racer. I'm still traveling around and going to do everything. Obviously, we'll be putting a lot of time in and investing a bunch of time, at the Drake Raceway, Thunder Alley, whatever you want to call it or refer to it as. But no, we still currently have our pit room there, and we'll still be doing all the racing when I'm in town.
Sweet.
Fall Brawl, first weekend in December, Lake Waccamaw, North Carolina, should be on that list.
So in the past, that was always a challenge because of Toys for Tots. Obviously, the last couple of years, we were the ones running the Toys for Tots race. So it was kind of impossible. But I still like to go to and always try to support Toys for Tots. But it would be nice if we could work that out this year.
I would like that, and finally get you here in studio for some stories and margaritas.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for that to happen. That has to happen.
And the Drake Raceway, I think it's the perfect size track. Every time I go there, it is the perfect size. And with the elevation, it is so sick, man.
Yeah.
Sick.
I've kind of always thought that the shape is a little bit odd, but the size is pretty easy to water, to marshal. You can see everything. You can race the whole track. Some of the tracks, when they get to where they're so big, I don't feel like you can race the whole track. Like you get to the back corners and you're just trying to like survive, like just stay in the middle and get through it. And then when you get closer, you can actually go back to battling. Where Thunder Alley, you can, or the Drake Raceway. I'll always refer to it, I'm sure, as Thunder Alley just as habit. But
most people probably will,
yeah,
and it's not a knock on the name or anything.
not
as you would, agree. It's just that once it becomes like I still refer to Xfinity NASCAR as Busch.
Yeah.
I think most people do because it was that for so long, and that's when it was at its highest level. Yeah, so definitely not a bad thing.
We even have some of the like old Thunder Alley signs and frequency clipboards and stuff, and going to do kind of like a little tribute to it. And then we even talked with Mike from Boom RC on some of the logo stuff. Like we want to kind of like ghost in the TA in the back because like there's so much history and heritage there. It was more of a thing that the park district basically said, look, we think this needs to change names just so that
negative
if something comes back,
away,
legally or something, they're just like, we just think it would be better, just so that they have less to deal with. So,
yeah. Hey, we got a caller, and I'm willing to bet if you had 5 guesses, you wouldn't even guess who it is. But we have a caller.
All right, caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
What's happening?
What's up, Eric?
Hey.
You kicking ass and taking names?
How you doing? What?
I said, are you kicking ass and taking names?
Well, yeah.
Duh.
Are you gonna come to Walla Walla?
I have to check the schedule. I'm not sure yet, but I hope to get up there and race with you soon.
Yeah. And if you would, you can bring your wife too.
She's gonna be busy working at the track.
Someone's got to do it.
Damn it.
I think he wants to leave you at the track and send Rhonda to Walla Walla.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
Nah. No, my wife get mad at me. No, but
did you have a
layout? What?
I was gonna say, did you have a question for Adam?
Yeah. What kind of layout are you gonna do?
So the layout's basically done. Levi finished it last night. We're actually going tomorrow night to pipe it, but it's going to be pretty technical. I wouldn't say anything too crazy, but it is pretty technical. A lot of kind of rhythm jumping and turning, and a bit more technical than what we've seen at Thunder. I don't know, the last couple of years at least, but again, not too crazy. Shouldn't be super hard on cars or anything, but definitely something you gotta, hit your marks to kind of link together and get good laps.
Sweet.
I might come down there and take that as my old race pleasure again. But
I like it. We'll save a spot for you.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, you have a good night, Eric.
All right, here you go.
Thanks, Eric. Have a good night, brother.
Thanks, dude. Good night.
Bye.
So Levi Jackson just spilled the beans. He said there's a 9-pack. Is there a 9-pack?
Come on.
There's a possibility of that.
I saw some whoop-de-doos in some of those photos you got, but a 9-pack.
What if you do like a double cinquipple?
Whoa.
I mean, if you have like a rocket pack on, you could probably do that.
double cinquipple, or you could go quad cinquipple. Like holy shit. Yeah,
it's funny because like when Levi like got it done, he was like, "There's going to be some people that don't like us."
Number one, it's good to see Levi back building tracks. I
is.
got to go to a sit cross at S&B, probably one of the last tracks he ever
We
built.
actually talked about that the other night, where he was out in the rain barefoot till 1 a.m. pushing mud off the track.
Yep, and that's where I got to meet him, and the only last time I ever got to hang out with Levi. But great dude, builds great tracks, so I'm stoked for you. But back to that 9-pack, we had a we had a triple at Beach RC for one of our masters. It's probably been one of the first 3 or 4 of them that we did, maybe 5, and it was on the left-hand side. It was so brutal that, like, pretty much Scotty was saying triple the entire fucking event. And it got to the point where I had some, cause I have a sign shop, and I just went and got acrylic and bolted it to the side of the wall so that cars couldn't jump out. Like, cause that's where all of our spectators stood.
Yeah.
We put a triple there, and it was one of our fails, but, yeah, I love rhythm sections. It's stuff that you have to work hard in.
Yeah,
that'll be a requirement with our tracks and Levi building, is at least one rhythm section, one section that kind of separates the boys from the men, and something that, like, we kind of joke, like, back in the day, we would always show up at a race, go up on the driver's stand, and there would always be at least one section where you would go, what do you think we're going to do through that? Like, you didn't know if you were going to triple, double, quad double. So I want to get back to a bit more technical stuff. I want to get to where they're not to where the whole track is so technical to where guys are like going home like, I didn't do one lap without crashing. But to where when you do nail those sections, it's rewarding, and that there is separation. And the other thing is that we don't want it to be hard on the cars, because some of the tracks now, like, it may be like a really big double or triple that's actually really easy to do, but you're 12 feet in the air and it's actually really hard on your car. So, we're going to try it out again. We'll see what people think.
You don't want to make marshalling nightmares either. And I think that's where the bigger situation is. Like, when that triple at my track happened, it was very marshal unfriendly because of the lanes we had coming the other direction. So yeah, I mean, you have, as a track builder, as a track owner, those are the things you got to think of. You can't just think of cool features. You got to think of where you put them. You got to think of how they're executed, how they're marshaled. Are they only going to be good for the top echelon, or can everyone figure it out if they're, but I think timing sections are so important in RC. It makes everybody better if they can just learn to figure them out, and having something that just takes rhythm is cool.
Like, I thought the Masters layout two Masters ago,
2 years ago.
Man, like, you got some 6x6 hate on that one.
I'm
dude.
like, that is like like, I wish I was there, even though I don't race electric anymore. I'm like, but I know for people, like, they're losing their mind. But again, once you then link it all together, it's like so rewarding.
Yep.
Right.
In that section that everyone hated so much, there was 3 ways to do it. You could double, triple. You could triple, double. You could single, triple. And in the most rewarding way was the hardest, which is awesome. And the guys were so pissed off because their live RC, their lifetime consistency rating was below like 99%. And they were so fucking mad at me. And I was like, listen, you all have to race the same track. I don't give a shit. It won't be the same track the next time you come back. This is one hard track. I love the fact that they were like, I asked Mayfield, because that was the only time he came to Masters of Dirt. And I asked Mayfield, what do you think? And he's like, dude, it was fucking hard. Like, it was really hard. And that's what I wanted. We call it Masters of Dirt. We don't call it Pussies of Dirt. Yeah. And if you really want to come and win that race, you got to be a master. So that's,
well, that layout also, other than that feature, had a really cool feature as well with that lip, like, pyramid step up.
Step up.
That was a badass feature right there, dude. That's never been done before, where you jump on and then.
Well, praise Lucas, man. He comes up with these crazy ideas and he convinces me, like, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. I'm like, you don't got to fucking deal with it. So, it doesn't matter how fine it's going to be, but I always let him have that creative ability to put that stuff into it. And most of the time it comes out pretty rad. But that one, Adam, you hit it on the head, dude. Like, it wasn't made for the guys that like just struggle figuring shit out.
Yeah.
Even the best of the best couldn't figure it out. Yeah. So it was awesome. Did you have somebody over there? Oh, I thought we had somebody. Did someone just call and like not want to talk? What a bunch of sissies. Someone got a little bit.
My kryptonite is those hip jumps, man. Just the pie corners.
Yeah.
I can never get those right ever.
Yeah, like we have some sections where like you're jumping and turning, but it's not like you gotta whip it and get all crazy to get around the track. It's pretty flowing. The 9-pack is going to definitely challenge people. The rest of the track, it does have a lot of timing and rhythm, but it's very flowing, and I think people are going to like it. It's pretty awesome.
So the 9-pack has been confirmed. We have a 9-pack.
We've got a 9-pack. Hey, we've also got a caller. How about that? 9-pack to caller.
Awesome.
Right, caller,
oh shit! There's a hip jump. Levi just.
What up, Jeremy?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Do you like hip jumps?
I'm brand new, like just a year into this, so no, not really.
Yeah,
9-packs and hip jumps are not this dude's friend right now. So what's going on?
I break cars that way. Hey, I was just wanting to know. I heard a rumor, Adam, if there is a MBX9 coming out.
Ooh.
No, I mean, someday, yes, but no time soon. I don't. It seems like kind of beginning of every year. That's always the rumor, and I don't know where the information comes from, but yeah, no MBX9 anytime soon. No plans or anything scheduled at this point. Obviously, as a race brand, we're always testing and working on new stuff and trying things, but definitely not in this calendar year.
No, cool. So, hey, the other thing was we want to invite you to come over to Vegas and check out our Silver Bowl track as well.
Shout out to Craig Maggie killing it at the Silver Bowl.
Silver Bowl's got a 6 squad, man.
Yeah, they do.
You guys.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, that's something similar that we want to have at the Drake Raceway. We want to have our core group of locals that take pride in it. This track is our track. It's everyone's track. It's let's take a sense of pride and appreciation for kind of getting back this iconic track. And it's crazy, like the Silver Bowl, I still don't know how they're able to operate being like literally like right behind the condos or apartments and stuff, but obviously they're doing things right. And to be able to still have that facility get such strong turnouts, it's because of the core group of people and the community there. It's pretty awesome to see.
Yeah, I've been able to work with Craig on some things, and the fact that I mean everybody is always high on that track and that group of racers. They're doing a great job down there. I would love to head over there at some point just to go club race and hang out. Schedules are tough, but fuck yeah, good for them and good for you, Jeremy, like for supporting that track and being there. You even though you're only a year into it, sounds like you found a really great place.
Yeah, you found a great spot, great group of people, and great spot to go race.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I do run music, by the way.
Very cool. Well, if you ever have questions, shoot me a message.
He'll send you a link.
I have, yep, I have, and he has sent me links and explained some things to me, and I was asking him if some stuff would fit from like the 7 to the 8R, and like nothing fits, but that's okay. But we are going to have a club race the week before Silver State that Jared Wiggins is going to be at. So
yeah, I saw it. He's going to do a clinic and club race. I saw that. Yeah.
Yep. So.
And if you ever have any questions, go to Adam Drake on YouTube. There's 604 videos for you to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I when I built my car about 4 months ago, I watched a lot of videos. One of the bigger things I took away from it was the front and rear diffs. Instead of putting the larger shims over top of the outdrives, I put
putting them on before the bearings is a lifesaver.
Exactly, and I didn't do that when I first built it, but I ran out of those other shims, so I went and did what Adam said, and it worked out great.
Hell
that
yeah.
makes so much sense.
Yeah, you just shim the bearing out instead of putting the little shims.
Yeah, it is so much easier.
That's so funny.
It's so much easier, especially for a beginner, to get those diffs in without having to worry about bending shims.
Yeah, because those bastards are always flopping out of the case and everything. I should have watched that video. I chew those bastards up all the time.
Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Hell yeah. Well, sweet, Jeremy. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for listening, and appreciate the awesome questions or comments.
Yes, sir. You guys
keep it fun, man. Keep it fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't get too competitive, man. Unless you know you can be a pro, just fucking enjoy it.
I'm too old to be a pro, so
most of us are. Unless you're Adam Drake,
right.
By God.
Right.
Or
I've only been doing RC for a year, so I don't have that big aspiration.
You're still smiling. I can hear it through the phone. So good for you, and keep on doing it.
Oh yeah.
Track time.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
I'm just getting
something
to the point where I'm not breaking cars.
Something that I learned also from some of the greats like Scotty Ernst and in these guys that have been doing tracks forever, there is such thing as karma in RC. Go out there and help lay pipe, do whatever you got to do, be part of the crew. That stuff builds you some great RC karma, and you will always get it back tenfold. Always help out when you got the time.
Always. I'm always able to go out and help out whenever I can. Also, we have the on-road refurbished track as well, and I got to win bought an on-road car now too.
Oh boy!
I heard about that.
The bug has bit Jeremy.
Yeah, it's really nice now. So
just so you know, because I know you're a Mugen guy. It sounds like there is this new vehicle out by Associated. It's a 6x6. So if you're gonna go do that on-road stuff, if you're gonna go do the on-road stuff.
And Brent is also gonna send you a Beach RC hat. So please email Wheel and Trigger.
Here we go.
Please email Wheel and Trigger .com and Brent will send you a hat.
Yeah, go ahead and you got the one and only winner tonight, Jeremy. Send an email to Chase. I'll send you out a Wheel and Trigger hat on Monday.
Post that email in the chat and I'll write it down.
All right, perfect, man.
wheelandtrigger@gmail.com. Right? Is that right, Chase?
I think it is. Send it to Beach RC. You can DM me.
Yeah, just DM us at the page, whatever. We'll send you a free hat, promise. Hopefully everybody's got all their shit from the Christmas extravaganza. I know that there's a few guys that shit got lost in the mail, but we've been trying to get it fixed. We gave out way too much shit, dude, for Christmas, dude. We can't do that again.
How many hats ended up being given away?
We're fucking out of hats. That's how many hats. But more hats are on the way for sure.
Thanks for the call, Jeremy.
You're welcome. I'll flip over to Facebook. That's it. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Appreciate it, bro.
All right, guys. Hey, have a good night. Thank you for
You too.
everything you all
Thank
do.
you.
You too. Yeah, Chase, I was thinking about this the other day, dude. This year, 2025's Christmas extravaganza has got to be like scheduled. Like, we have to know what we're giving away. We can't just like bombard.
Just say we're giving it away to give it away.
Yeah, we have to be a little more.
I don't know, man. That was
dude.
the most fun I think I've ever had.
We gave away so much shit, dude. I felt like Oprah, dude. Like, it was off the fucking chain.
It was fun. It was fun.
Evan Roth, dude, this is funny. Look what Evan Roth posted. He said 250 command modules still missing in the mail.
Holy moly, that's a lot. That's a little bit above average. There's usually at least a couple.
We build them in 50 pieces batches, dude. We're way behind.
Way behind. Sorry, Evan.
I think we got another
an
call.
IOU. They're as good as money.
Yeah. We got another call.
Got another call, Adam?
You're on the air.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
Oh,
what's happening?
Just you're checking in my favorite show that I watch every other Tuesday night.
When you say every,
I'm not gonna.
When you say every other, are you bummed that it's not every?
No, I need a little break from you guys.
Good.
Me too.
I was hoping you'd say that.
You know what? It's crazy, Mike. Is since you're our third caller, you win a Beach RC hat.
I'm gonna need three. I'm gonna need three.
I'll bring them to Psycho, dude. They're coming with me to Psycho next week.
All right, I won't give any more away. I promise.
Thank
Brent.
you, Jesus. Shut his mic off, dude. For the love of fucking God.
What's on your mind tonight, Mike?
All right, guys. I don't want to be on here long tonight, like I usually am. I'm just gonna ask a quick question. Adam's he's been around for a long time, and he's an old dude.
Whoa.
I think he's raced with like all the generations. You know what I mean? He's a legend, still doing it. I'm impressed by him all the time, honestly. But I just want to take his take on how like 8 scales evolved from when he started, like maybe the racing, the style. Just kind of bring us through like what he's seen and how the generations have went through. He's been through them all and raced them all, and kind of witnessed them all. So see his take, and then I'm gonna check out. Let you guys do your thing. I'm just always interested in that type of history and what.
See you next week, Mike. Good question.
Yep. PMB.
Yeah. So for me, it started. Gas truck used to be the class. That was the premier class. We raced 8 scale also, but 8 scale was kind of almost the sideshow or a bit of a joke. Just at least that's how like the hardcore gas truck guys perceived it. I felt like the early days of 8 scale, it was more of just like survival. You know, it's like if you could keep your car together, you could get a good result. And then that kind of transitioned. I would say the next kind of big change would be as the 10 scale guys started getting more involved in 8 scale. For a number of reasons. Some guys were doing it to try to get additional income, extra track time, just to kind of be more, diverse. But in the early days, there wasn't as many brands. Kyosho and Mugen were the two main brands. Offna had the Hobao and Hung Nor, which the Hung Nor then turned into the Jammin car. The Jammin car kind of changed things dramatically. It was probably one of the first like pro 8 scale kits that actually came with all the good stuff in the box. You didn't have to buy a ton of option parts. In the early days of 8 scales, like there were so many ads from Ferroni and all these different companies. You would buy a super expensive Kyosho car and then had to put another $300 worth of option parts into it.
Yeah, whatever happened to Ferroni anyway? Sorry to interrupt you.
I still, every now and then you'll see some weird differential or, something. But yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like it's a priority like it used to be. They used to be a really big brand. There would be
I remember having a Ferroni clutch was like the hot shit.
Yeah. That was the shit at one point. So was Buku. Buku had a great clutch for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's awesome.
You just brought a blast from the past. I'm like, whoa, wow.
We all just showed our age.
Yeah. And then I would say kind of the next big change or evolution, which I would say would be the most drastic change in 8 scale, was when Losi or TLR kind of hit the 8 scale market in the mid 2000s. It seemed like the 8 scales up until that point were a little bit maybe under engineered, not quite as durable. You know, they got the job done, but when the Losi car hit the market,
8, yeah,
I mean,
that
it
thing was sick. I had one.
That's
right when I got into it, man.
Yeah, I have a few of them right behind me. It it was basically like a 10 scale car that was bigger and had a nitro engine in it. You know, it jumped better, it had more acceleration, the drivetrain was better. It kind of changed the game, and kind of since then has, in a sense, what all the cars have kind of evolved to. I mean, now all the 8 scales on the market are like, they're true race cars. You know, the kits are good kits, they accelerate hard, they jump good. I feel like now we're kind of to a place, not just in 8 scale, just in all racing in general. It's like the gaps are much smaller now. Like, there's a lot of good cars, there's a lot of good engines, there's a lot of good tires, where like, especially in like when TLR got into the 8 scale market, like the car was so far advanced, it was a struggle if you didn't have that car to be competitive. Where nowadays you can take pretty much any of the cars. You know, some are maybe a little more durable, or some are a little easier to drive, or some are a little faster, but they're all within that range that if you put it in the right hands with the right setup, you can win with it.
Right.
So I think that's kind of where we're at now. And again, even on like the 10 scale side of things, like you now see, you know, Schumacher, X-Ray, Associated. You don't see much TLR, but like if their car was in the right hands, it would obviously still be competitive. I mean, Tater's the current 2-wheel drive world champion with a TLR car. So it's kind of cool to see so many brands that all have competitive platforms, where in the early days that wasn't really the case. There would be times where you would see guys struggle for an extended period of time because the platform was just holding them back.
I want to come back to that, to TLR at some point, but we have a caller.
All right, caller, you're on the air.
Ooh.
Hello, folks.
Yoshi.
What up, Yoshi?
Hey, I've been very busy over the week and a half.
Cool,
yes,
man.
You
what
have.
Have you been
doing? Hurting my. Well, I learned the hard way that you put the rocks on the bottom before you start building jumps and berms.
Yeah.
I mean, as a filler.
I have some proof in video or pictures of what Yoshi was doing this weekend. I just sent them over to Robert to post up, but my man has been putting in the work this week. Now, as we said earlier on the show, we've been trying to get rid of this illustrious Beach RC dirt. Well, Yoshi,
I might come down tomorrow and get some more.
My man Yoshi, go ahead, Robert, when you post it up and share this. My man Yoshi has been coming and getting. Just watch this video. my man Yoshi has been coming and getting the dirt, dude. Like filling up trunk loads of Beach RC dirt for his home track, and I am so stoked because the dirt will live on at a very minuscule scale, but at a scale at Yoshi's house. So thank you. Look, we need a round of applause for Yoshi. I mean, this dude
your trunk is never going to be the same, dude. He's never going to get that out.
He's committed. He figured out after 2 trunk loads to bring a small landscaping trailer. So I'm very stoked that he's got it, but he's got dirt and it's going to be used for RC. So I'm very happy about that because thank God it's just not going away.
I said thank you, and I appreciate it. Now my kids are stoked. They can not actually race all the time. They just come outside with their slashes and just have a good time.
Very cool. That's what it's all about, man.
Hey, Adam. Levi said Rhonda Civic. Yeah, we need about 400 Civics on the way from California right now.
Yeah.
And we can make it happen. That's so awesome. Yoshi, I appreciate you, man. And you know, what's funny about this situation is because Yoshi came up to get one of those free jars of dirt we were giving out to our people, the people that have raced there, that whatever. And he ended up leaving with a trunk load. So
that's wild, dude.
It is more than wild. It's very much appreciated and doesn't go unnoticed. That's for sure.
That's great. That car will never be the same.
I'll let you guys get back to your awesome interview, and I love the show tonight.
Thanks, Yoshi. We love you, man. We appreciate you. So I do want to get back to the TLR question. This is a twofold question. Number one, any animosity towards TLR at this point in your career? And number two, what do you think of the current state of TLR? And I know this is probably going to be a very polished off politician style PC response, but I hope you can be as honest as you possibly can.
Yeah, of course. Absolutely no animosity at all. It honestly was the best thing that could have ever happened. Obviously, I didn't think that at the time. At the time, it was devastating, life-changing. You know, I thought I was going to be there, you know, be a lifer. Thought I'd be there forever. I actually recently, Casey Peck was here, hung out, spent the weekend. He was doing some electrical work for us here at the house, and kind of Rhonda directed it. And Casey and we actually have like, I don't remember how much time, but I think it was like a couple hours of footage where we just kind of talked about like basically TLR from my beginning to the end, and basically explain the whole ending, how it went down. Because you know, obviously I've told the story a number of different times, but it's like, kind of like you're saying, you're trying to be a little bit politically correct. And, you know, Casey and I just kind of, you know, told it like it is. It's just, I got to take the time to kind of go through and edit and clip stuff together and add some photos and stuff with that. So that'll be something that'll be, I think, pretty cool and exciting. You know, Rhonda kind of, like I said, she was the director. She was kind of pushing us on it, like, don't hold back. It's been 10 years. And again, it's at the time, yes, it sucked. It was like, holy shit, what are we going to do now? How's this going to work out? They were pretty strategic in their way, where I feel like trying to basically destroy me in a sense. And so at the time it sucked, but in turn, that turned out to be the greatest thing that could have ever happened to me in all of RC. With Mugen, it's my home. This is where I truly believe I will be, the rest of my career. I hope to one day own Mugen, run Mugen. And I never would have thought, 10 years ago when everything ended with TLR and stuff, that I would still be traveling as much as I am, racing as much as I am, have our own engine line, owning a track. Like, none of this stuff would have happened with TLR. Like, you're under the corporate umbrella. you're scared shitless if you're going to even have a job tomorrow. They pile more and more shit on you to where you're just so stressed out that you're just, you kind of almost shut down in a sense. So, it's been awesome that happened, kind of, I guess, revitalized my career. Even though Mugen's been around for a long, long time, it's a smaller, more core group of people that is 100% focused on racing. You know, we don't have any RTRs, basher stuff. They're fully committed to the racing side of things. Racing is what I love to do. They have trust in me to, you know, help with the development, to travel to the races that I think are important. It's really made, like, kind of shaped my career to be extended and also more enjoyable. If for some reason, like, it didn't happen and I was still at Horizon, I 100% wouldn't be racing. We wouldn't have our own engine line. We wouldn't have our break-in and service stuff. Right. I would be miserable like the rest of the people at Horizon. And
are
you
everything happens for a reason kind of guy?
For sure, 100%. Okay. Like,
I am too.
It doesn't always make sense,
yep.
You know, at the time, but for me, it also changed. Like, when I first went and met with Chris at Mugen, sat down, had lunch with him, you know, I told him, I said, look, man, like, I'm going to give you my all. I'm going to, you know, I want to at some point take over the reins from you and run this place. And, you know, at some point possibly own this place. But I also will have something of my own. I said, I don't know what that is at this point. I don't have plans for it, but I cannot put all my eggs in one basket like I previously did and have the rug pulled out from underneath me.
Yeah.
And he was like, I agree. I support it. You let me know how I can help you with that. So it's a pretty amazing or Cinderella story in a sense that, you know, it's worked out the way that it has.
Well, you deserve it. You've earned it.
I still have a lot of, you know, people that I'm in contact with that, you know, work for Horizon. Some of them have done great and they've climbed the ranks. Some of them, you know, they're never going to admit it, but you can see it, you know, like, I have a little gray patch that shit's from Horizon. Like, it's from like 12 years ago. And I've gotten no additional gray hair since. That's was awesome. My last year and a half to 2 years there was pretty miserable. And
so do you think that, like, someone like Dakota, who is, you know, obviously we're not speaking for him, but I just want to know your opinion. Someone that, like, was in a very similar situation, that was his career, like, he was the guy, and just basically the rug was pulled out from under him. Same thing. Do you think that he's going to see the better side of this industry?
100%. Yeah, 100%. It's, again, I'm sure he went through like tons of the same emotions, you know, especially with him and Chloe being pregnant, expecting their first child. Yep. You know, there's never a good time for shit to happen. But it's how you kind of respond and react to it. I mean, when this all happened, Rhonda and I were in the process of purchasing a home. Like, for all of us, every day we have shit going on, you know, stuff that's important and stuff that can kind of have an effect or change things. You know, there's never a good time. You know, for Dakota, this, I'm sure, seemed like, you know, hell basically, but it's still super early. It's too early for him to appreciate how good this will probably end up for him. Yeah. You know, I think it's great. You know, loyalty is awesome. I'm super loyal. Again, I didn't plan to to ever go anywhere else. You know, the companies I currently run for, I don't plan to go anywhere else, but shit happens sometimes. And I think as kind of a reset for Dakota, he will learn from it. He will probably do things a bit different and, you know, on some levels, maybe have his guard up. But I look at it more of a learning experience that he'll be able to then apply to future stuff. You know, if he stays with X-Ray for another 19 years, great. If not, he will at least take away from that experience with TLR and be able to apply it to, you know, to whatever's next.
I agree. All right, so we're getting late in the show. We're right at our 2 hours, but is the caller still on, Robert? Yeah. All right, we got one more caller, and then I've got a comment that I want to share and get your response on, and then we can end on a high note here. Go ahead, Robert. Bring it
So
on.
I didn't want to interrupt, man. I couldn't hold it any longer.
It's okay. I mean, you're forgiven.
That's a good story, man. Sounds like my first vasectomy. I mean, I've only had one, but.
Well, Travis, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys? Adam, Drake.
What's up?
So, 2 questions for you. We've known each other for a long time, 25 plus years in the industry.
Oh, wow.
I would say.
It's Peanut.
I was going to say.
Yes, sir.
Yes, This is Travis and Meskia.
All right. What's your first question?
What's been your most memorable race win throughout your career?
Memorable.
I would probably say 2013 Roar Fuel Nationals for a few reasons. For one, it fell on Father's Day. I thought that was super cool. My dad was at home watching. Thought that was really special. My close friend Bill Bridges was nearing the end of his fight with cancer, but he was still with us for that. For that final. He passed, shortly after that. I was able to talk to him one time after that. I would say that's probably the most memorable or meaningful, race win.
Awesome.
All right. Question number 2.
And next question. Through your years with TLR, Losi, and now Mugen, what's been your best project you've worked on?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Pretty cool.
It would have to be the original 8. That was such a cool project that, yourself, Yuka, Junior, and I, it was, again, it kind of changed the 8 scale world. I mean, I've had a lot of cool projects. I appreciate all of them that I've been involved with over the years, but the way that kind of changed the industry or changed that segment of the industry, that would have to be it.
Yeah, I was going to say that was like a course changing release.
Yeah.
That changed the way 8 scale would move forward with. Very cool. Sick. Well, thanks,
awesome.
Peanut.
Yeah, so those are my questions. Throughout the years, I've known you for a long time.
Yeah, you should tell them your pickle story.
All right, story time, because we got one more that's going to come up.
The pickle story. What about the baby picture story?
I got a few. Yeah, I used to have. I'll have to find my old wallet. I still have the baby picture in my old wallet.
All right. Well, what's the pickle story, Travis?
Pickle stories. I mean, pickle. Let's hear it.
All right. So the pickle story. We were at Hot Rod Hobbies for the hot rod shootout. This is back in the Losi days. We were pitted just. What would that be? North side of the wash, I believe. The pit lane, we had Louis Cavalieri standing over there, and someone bet me if I can hook this pickle over the easy up, and hit him.
Over the easy up, through a tree.
Yeah, through a tree and hit him round the back of the head. His hat shot off and pickle juice and the pickle exploded everywhere.
You're talking about Papa Cavalieri? You nailed him with a pickle?
If you would have had
over an easy up.
If you would have had 1,000 attempts, you couldn't have done it more perfect. He didn't even try to line it up. He just left-handed hucked a pickle, and like we couldn't see it because the easy ups, the tree. So you're like, it seemed like it was like 15 minutes. You're waiting in anticipation, and Lewis has his back turned to us, has no idea what's going on, and just gets hit with like the big jumbo pickle, and it explodes down his back and like knocks his hat off.
Oh my gosh,
that's classic.
So then
pickle story.
So then Lewis comes over all pissed off. Hey, who threw that pickle? Frankie Contreras climbs under his pit table because he was like laughing so hard. And Travis just looks over and goes, I think it came from the on-road track, which is like 200 yards away.
That's funny, dude.
Pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
Man,
awesome.
A pickle, honestly.
Thank you, Travis, man. Good question. Great story. Glad we got to. I'm hoping we're gonna hear one more story for this.
That's funny because Frankie Contreras is commenting right now. He said, "I was there. That shit was funny."
Pickle juice.
You got pickled. Dang.
That's awesome.
So I think Carl Vucinich is going to have a fucking heart attack if you don't tell this car rental story. He's commented about.
Oh man, we're gonna have 2 more stories then. 2 more stories because if we're gonna do the Carl story, then I got one more we gotta ask you about.
Yeah, so rental car story was 2007 Nats in St. Louis. We ended up practice got rained out. Bunch of the other guys. I'll try to make it quick, but a bunch of the other guys, they went to the bar at the front of the hotel. I wasn't super into that, so I'm like wrenching on my car, decide to go across the street to Burger King. It had just finished raining, so everything's still wet. I'm like waiting in line to order, sitting in my minivan, and I like get kind of nudged from behind. And I look in the rearview mirror, it's Pavitas. So he's like bumping me, I'm backing into him. It's like starting out as like, Days of Thunder, like we're just playing around in the cars.
Yeah. Let me out of the car, Cole.
Yeah. I pull up, I get ready to order my food. He's just laying on the horn so they can't hear what I'm ordering. He's like trying to push me. So I get up, I get my food. I had the parking brake on. It's back when it still had a handbrake. And I'm just doing a burnout, just like smoking everything out. Like everyone in the Burger King's looking out at me. So I'm doing it because I'm like, Mark's got to now pull up and he's got to deal with all the smoke. So I release the parking brake, go forward, and at 90s to go out into the parking lot. So I pull the parking brake again, slide into the curb, and it's super loud. And I'm like, fuck, I popped the tire. I look over.
Grenaded my rental car.
The fucking axle broke off.
Oh, God.
And it's going past me in the grass.
Yes.
Oh, no.
But in my head, I'm thinking they probably already called the cops for like doing the burnout. Like, I got to get the tire and get out of here. Not thinking like, you can't drive this thing.
I got to get the tire.
So Mark sees me like hit the curb, but he doesn't see the tire come off because there's bushes and stuff. Like I rounded the corner enough. So he pulls forward as I have the side door of the van open and I'm carrying the tire to throw in the side door of the van. So I ended up making up the story to the rental car company because it had these like plastic mats over the normal mats. And so I called the rental car company and I was like, you're not going to believe it. The plastic mat got stuck under the gas pedal. The van took off full throttle. I almost shot into traffic. Like this could have killed me, could have killed other people. I think the rental car company was so scared like I was going to sue them. They just said, no problem, sir. We'll bring you out a new one. They scooped that one up on a flatbed. Never heard anything about it. Nothing from the insurance. Nothing.
So
That's beautiful. I need
is-
to hit you up for some excuses.
Is that the same story, or is because this was my next question for you? Is that the same story, or is this a different story? Mark
Yeah.
Vita says, please have Adam tell guys how you saved some Girl Scouts at Burger King. So is that what you told the rental car company?
So the story ended up evolving as it got better and better. So we get off the phone with the rental car company, they're on their way, and then I was like, there was Girl Scouts selling cookies here. when the gas pedal stuck, I had to swerve to miss the girls, and then I had to panicked and pulled the e-brake, and so the story kind of evolved as the day went on to where it was like I went from being an idiot that was doing dumb shit in a rental car to I saved a whole group of Girl Scouts their lives.
A hero.
By
You're a
doing
hero.
this
You're a real American
maneuver.
hero.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
That is awesome, man.
Well,
those are the
Carl, I must
stories I
say
live
that
for.
was a story worth hearing. Thank you, Carl.
Thanks for calling in, Carl. I mean, what? Travis, Carl, maybe.
Peanut, pickle.
Pickles
chucker?
and Girl Scouts, dude. There's nothing more that goes together better than that. So, well, damn, dude, you killed it. Thank you so much for your time, man. These are the kind of nights and stories, like this is the stuff that the show is made for. You provided insight too. You didn't just show up and say the same old stock answers about what's your most favorite win and where did you start RC racing or whatever, because
those are great questions. Questions end up getting better answers, so I thought that was awesome.
Absolutely. And we're gonna talk more. I'll see you next week, I'm sure, at PNB.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get you here in studio with me drinking margaritas for when we're here for. You're gonna come to Fall Brawl this year.
Yeah, let's try to make it happen.
There's no trying. Just put it on your schedule. You're pro driver.
We'll work on it.
All right. All right. Well, this has been fun. Adam, thank you again. Chase, I love your face.
Thanks, man.
It's gonna be a great week. The next time we're back on, we are going to talk about PNB. It's 2 weeks from now. That would be April the what April is it, Chase?
I don't know, man.
You are
2 weeks
killing
from
me
now.
here. Is that April?
Like not next
April
Tuesday,
8th.
but
April 8th.
8th or 9th, yeah.
8th,
Tuesday after this next one coming.
Tuesday after PNB, April 8th is when you guys will see our mugs again. And who knows who will recruit at PNB, but it will be somebody that is going to try to live up to fill the shoes of Adam Drake on this show.
It's going to be tough for sure.
Tough.
Thanks for coming on, Adam. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. We'll see you locally, and Brent, we'll see you next week. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, I'll see you next week. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.
Good night.
So I want to thank our sponsors: One Up Racing, ProMotion, Nitro Pro, Techno, J&T. Get Shit Done Coffee. Shit's money. I had one of their Nitro coffees today. RC Sign Up, Racecraft, Wolfden, TZO, Beach RC, and RC Box Club. You got any final thoughts? Any kind of fuck yous or love yous?
Love everybody. Have fun with your RC cars.
Fuck yeah. That's good. Oh, thank you. Good. Robert's on tonight. I mean, he's alive.
Yeah. Keep it fun. Always. That's it. Just keep it fun.
A-scale Nitro short course. Let's do this. Techno, anybody? Let's fucking change the course of truck at big races. All right. I love you, everybody. I'll see most of you that listen to this, or half of you, at PNB. And until next time.
Yeah. Good luck to everybody at PNB.
Do it again. Peace.